Okay, we're back. Shut up. Second camera angle. Dude, you don't know what I go through to make these videos. I duct tape a freaking GoPro to one of my dad's hats because I don't have any baseball hats, so I have to be like, hey dad, can I steal one of your old baseball hats? Please. It'll be fun. Please. Bro, why is this stoplight taking so long? Ooh. No popo. That's good. Oh, maybe popo. Oh, yes. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. This parking lot is not empty. Where's an empty parking lot? Shouldn't be that hard. I didn't even use my turn signal. Oh, this is fun, bruh. Well, I can let me adjust my camera real quick while I'm here. Please be a while. Oh yeah, really latched on now. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's not coming off. All we gotta do is find a spot and then I'll yap. The red line was excessive, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we're almost here. Sorry it's been a while. I've done a lot of stuff to this car and I could have made videos on it, but I just didn't want to. Straight up. I didn't feel like it. I just wasn't in the mood. I didn't want to suffer, and like, this channel is just for funsies, so I just want to make fun videos. I don't want to make videos where my hands are covered in oil and I'm trying to explain something. It's just not super fun. So I've missed out on some opportunity. Notably, I did a power steering rebuild a month or two ago. I totally could have made a video on it, but there's a few other videos online, so I decided not to. And I did link all of this stuff in a community post that I made, so if someone does want to check that out, I have all the resources I used to that power steering rebuild. But if you do that, there's a bearing in when you rebuild your pump, and you do not need to take that bearing out. I do not believe there are any seals in that bearing, unless you want to take off the hook that holds it on and replace it with the new hook that comes with the rebuild kit. But aside from that, not much reason to rebuild. All right. Funny thing about this car, you gotta push it twice because it stops in the middle. I don't know why. Just Lexus stuff. So, build update. Finally. Yeah, it's been a long time. What's it been, like a year? Actually talking about the car. I've done some stuff, but no real things. If you haven't noticed, I've got a gauge cluster. Yeah. Works great. I actually got this back like 3 days ago because the tachometer failed. So I got it rebuilt pretty soon after I got the car, and it worked great for a few months, and then the tachometer died. So I sent that back, and then I got it back just now, and so I finally have a working tachometer, which is great. Works good. It's awesome. I think it has something to do with when I turn off the car. If you look at it, you can't see it very well, but the needle, the tacho needle doesn't go back to 0 unless you power cycle it. Then it'll drop back. See that? So I don't know if that is the reason, but for the future, I am just power cycling it just to get that needle to drop back down, just preventative maintenance stuff. I don't know if it'll have any effect on it, but I'm doing it because I want to. Okay, let's talk about stuff. Pretty much every issue on this car I've fixed, like with a few exceptions, like this like but come on, please. It works. Look at that. 30 bucks will make you happy, man. It's so good. Okay. I did a video on this. It works great. If you can see, I have electric fans now. I had a shop put it in, and yeah, I learned, not the hard way, but I just learned that if you care about an old car, bro, just do it yourself. Like, they're just not gonna take care of it, you know what I mean? So they're pretty loud. They're Mishimoto fans, and you can hear them pretty loud. I don't know if it's just like, and like if you stand here, you can feel the air getting sucked in, but I don't know if it's just the nature of the fans or if it's because the fans suck. But yeah, that's the thing. I've got the fans done. I got a new belt, so that's sick. I rebuilt the power steering pump. Works great now, no leaks. There's no leaks with this car. I love it. It does burn like a quart of oil every 1,000 miles, but I'm willing to deal with that. I replaced the clutch master cylinder, this guy. It's like 4 bolts. It's pretty easy. There's a bolt there. There's 4 bolts. It is kind of a difficult job just because you have to like get all up under there, and that's fun. So like my advice is that you're gonna get up under, pretend the pedals are right here, and you can like reach behind the pedals and like crank it, because one of the nuts is in a really bad spot. I think you're supposed to like take something else out, like this whole dashboard or something, but I did it the easy way. That also really sucked. So yeah, that's a thing. I also took the mufflers off, if you couldn't tell. Super easy, 4 bolts, pull off the hanger. You have cheap loud noises and it sounds freaking sick. But yeah, it's super easy to take off and on. A lot of people with these cars, they're just rusted on. I just poured some bolt breaker on, and I removable exhaust, dude, it's sick. But yeah, it's kind of a summary of just what I've done so far to keep you guys updated. I did the radiator, got low profile fans on it. The fan shroud did not fit. It probably could have fit, maybe, but I'm not totally sure. And the reason I did that is because the AC wouldn't work. So my mechanic said that the reason AC wasn't working was because there wasn't a fan shroud or anything to pull air through. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. So I bought the fan shroud and gave it to them, and they did all that, and they did a great job. And the shop I take it to, they do a good job, okay? But when sourcing old parts, they just suck. I'm sorry. So I asked them to do a few things. Replace the master cylinder, because the master cylinder was leaking originally. Get the AC to work, which is the fan problem, and then get the power steering to not leak. They did not do the master cylinder at all. I did that on my own. It took like 2 days. Toyota still makes the part. Go to your Lexus or Toyota dealer. You can buy that part. So that was, and this car sat in a mechanic shop for 2 months out in the dirt because no reason. Because they couldn't get the parts, and they didn't tell me that. Yeah, so the guy who runs the shop is awesome, but there's just a lot of dingleberries, I shouldn't say that, dinguses who work at the shop, and there was just a loss of communication. On the power steering thing, they're like, hey, you're gonna need a new rack because the rack leaked, and I do think the rack leaked. So we gave him a rack. They didn't rebuild the pump, so it still leaked, and then they put the fans on. So essentially we just threw money at the car without actually fixing the leaks that we brought it in for. So I rebuilt the power steering pump myself. It wasn't terribly hard, honestly. There's no stress to it, so you can do that yourself. Master cylinder, you can also do it yourself. It's a little just hard to kind of finagle everything, but yeah. So I did that. I've taken off the mufflers because funny, I'm keeping them around. I'm not like, I'll take them on and off as the need arises, but I put new shocks, in the trunk and hood, so everything works great now. I've got a gauge cluster, so my gauges work. So things that still need fixing but probably won't be, head unit's cooked. I could buy a new head unit for like 90 bucks if I remember correctly on eBay. A few of the speakers are like absolutely fried, but no head unit, so that doesn't really matter. My headrest doesn't work, the driver headrest, the latches up and down don't work, so that's kind of sad. I think I mentioned that in a earlier video. And the wing mirror, like there's a few other just miscellaneous things. Well, antenna, yeah, but all in all, I have a complete car, which is sick, so that's fun. But let's go for a drive just and chat a bit about the future of this car. We can see the click on brightness. I leave my DRLs on all the time, so it dims out, so I have to brightness lock, which is fine. And then there's not much brightness adjustment, and I knew that from Canon, but I always just leave it on this setting at night, so I don't have a problem with it. But if it is a problem, good luck. I haven't given you guys much drive time. It is the middle of rush hour, but we'll make do. But yeah, let's just have a bit of fun, talk about the future of this build, right? Also, it backfires like crazy at low speed. It's awesome. Oh, now my hat's falling off again. Oh no. Maybe this wasn't a great time to record a video because I watched a Jigsaw Brow video right before this, so I've got some bad influences going through my system. But no, so future of this build. I don't plan on ever selling this car because I love it, it's great. I do plan on turboing the car. So steps to do that. Oh, is that a phone call? I'm getting called. Oh no. Okay, phone call over. I'll take the highway for like one exit. I mostly want to go through this tunnel. Oh, there's a light. Oh no. Green. Green, 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 green. Yay! A terribly fast car. I wasn't absolute open throttle there, but you're not gonna win any races with this thing. There may be a bit of bottom end torque loss if the muffler's removed, but it's so much more fun to drive around with it. I think it's a worthy loss. But yeah, build. I just want to make this car nice, you know, but I also don't want to overdo it like at all. Coilovers drop maybe an inch or so because the stock wheel arch is really bad. I hate lowering cars, and I really want to lower this car just because it looks like it's on stilts. It's crazy. TE37 style wheels. I don't know if I'll do TE37s if I'm rich or not, but probably like N-key TR6s or something. Is that what they're called? T6R? I don't remember. But yeah, coilovers, wheels, doing like 245 section. So like I just want a bit of a meatier wheel on there. Brakes, upgraded brakes of some form, because the stock brakes on this aren't amazing. Like they're fine, like they're pretty touchy off the top, but that's pretty much all the give they have, unless you go into full lock ABS. Like there's not much to these brakes. So LS400, I'll probably put on Supra brakes just to be in that realm, right? There's a few options you can go with that route. I just want to make it handle really well. Might do a stiffer sway bar and front and back, whatever. Figure it out as we go. But the big question, turbo, yes. So as I speak, I actually do have a turbo kit in my room. It's a CX Racing turbo kit. I did not buy the turbo or the wastegate, so I have neither of those parts, and I am also dead poor. So yeah, in order to install that, there's two things you need to do. You need to drill the oil pan, right? My rev matches aren't perfect just because the gauge cluster tack hasn't been working for quite a long time. And I also just suck, I guess, maybe. Hold on, tunnel. as I was saying, you need to do two things. You need to drill the exhaust side of the oil pan for your turbo oil return. That's by far the most stressful part of the job. And on the oil side, you need to take off the mount that holds the oil filter and put in a union bolt that has a lead so you can run oil to your turbo and then have the turbo outlet go to your oil pickup, and that's all you need to do to the engine. And then you can just bolt parts on and boom, you have a turbo. In turbo choice, I'm probably gonna do a Borg Warner S257 or like a Garrett GT30 size turbo. It's probably gonna be an S257 because I want fast spool. I don't care about big power. I want to keep the stock trans, so I'm limited to 400 horsepower pretty much, which I think is fine. 400 horsepower on one of these things, that'd be a riot. I drove a 300 horsepower turbo IS a week or so ago. That was crazy. I love that. You don't need much power to make this fun. But yeah, internals, if I want to get to that 400 horsepower, I'm limited to about 350 on stock internals. Well, safely. What you do is you just put on a 2JZ-GE head gasket because it's got the GE head gasket. So you swap it over to a GTE. It's thicker, so you get a bit lower compression, right? And while you're in there, you put in ARP head studs. Easy peasy. That's all you need to do. I mean, you have to take the heads off, so that's kind of hard. But it's just those two things, and then you can get to that 400 horsepower mark. With wheels and all, suspension, all that, you're looking at like, I think 5K for all those parts and stuff. I'm not sure, but just turbo stuff to get the car operating is like 3,500, and I've got 2 grand of that down. I just need to buy the turbo and the wastegate and the spring. But once I get it, I plan on just running spring pressure for a bit. Because in order to get higher PSI, I'm gonna have to run either standalone ECU or source a GTE ECU. I don't know which one I'm gonna do. I'd kind of prefer standalone because I don't want to mess with any pins or anything. I want to keep the stock ECU around, so if I want to revert it back to stock at some point, I'm totally able to do that with relative simplicity. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. Standalone ECU, boost control of some kind is kind of what I'm thinking currently. Probably like Emu Classic or Emu Black. I don't want to ruin this car. I want to make it fun because I made another video, right? Time's ticking. And frankly, I don't know if I'm ever going to sell this car. So if I keep it nice, who am I keeping it nice for? You know, like, okay. So I just want to enjoy it. Another thing I want to do that's kind of sacrilege is repaint it. I want to repaint this car. If you've seen Python Green on a Porsche, like the Porsche, if you've seen Porsche Python Green, that's kind of the color I'm going for. I also just learned about the Lexus LFA that's painted in fresh green. There's 2 of those. That's also really interesting, but I think it's kind of a not as vibrant. It's just kind of a lighter green. I want more of a vibrant color, so I'm probably gonna do the Python Green, but it would be cool to keep it in the Toyota brand. I'll think about it. I'm mostly leaning Porsche Python Green right now, but again, that's when I have a decent amount of money to pay for such amenities such as repainting a car. And if anyone's watching this video, like, does this guy always rip his car? No, I don't. I just drive it like a normie Joe. I do like my accelerations, but I just like cruising. I mean, honestly, that's kind of it. Build update, just a bit more seat time. Like, for being a Lexus SC300 channel, pretty much, this channel does not have much SC300 driving videos. So I wanted to have a bit of both, just, you know, talk about things and do the drivies. So I'm doing the drivies and talking the things. Yeah, very good. That's a really lame plate, but okay. I'll lose, but whatever. Ooh, the new Land Cruiser. This is a fun road. this car is awesome, man. Just to close this out with some thoughts. Awesome car, especially with the stick. I genuinely don't know if I would have bought this car if it didn't have a stick shift. I really don't. I don't know if I mentioned this before. My buddy had an SC300, and I drove that. I'm like expecting it to be faster because it's like 30 horsepower up from mine, right? It was slower. And like that Turbo IS, like even though it was probably faster than my car by like a landslide because it's turboed, right? My car felt faster. Like the stick just makes all the difference with these cars. Oh yeah, also, the last thing to note about build stuff, I want to put in an LSD of some kind. I don't know if I'm gonna do 1.5 way or one way. I want it to be trackish, but streetish. I like the canyon carving, but I also don't want to kill myself. So I'm thinking one way, just because I don't want to like snap and oversteer myself into oblivion. Is this? Golly. But yeah, oh my gosh, 20 seconds. I'm just gonna shut up and just drive around for a second and park somewhere and then end the video. Yeah. Sound levels in here with the exhaust off, if you're wondering, it's honestly not too different from with the exhaust on. One thing that is different is the drone. There's a lot of intake noise. Like a lot of this car's noise is just intake noise, so it sounds awesome on the inside, but on the outside it just sounds like a vacuum cleaner. But with the exhaust off, you just kind of have that sound mirrored behind you too. There is a bit of drone, 2 to 3K. It's not unbearable, but it's just annoying on the highway. Where am I going? Getting a little windy out there. I don't need to park to end the video. Thanks for watching, y'all. I don't know if I'll make another video in the short term. Definitely stay tuned because I will be making stuff on this channel long term. Don't you worry, I will finish this project. I will not be like all the other SC300 YouTubers who just like, hey, here's a sick complete turbo build. Let's run on the dial. Oh, yo, 450 horsepower, that's sick, right? And they just never upload again. I promise not to do that. Thanks for watching. I'm actually really impressed with how the review of this car is done. I can maybe do another video that, I don't know, about review thoughts and stuff, but I don't know. But yeah, thanks for all the stuff. Stay alive, don't do illegal things where other people can see you. Don't do drugs. Okay, bye.